Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango.
Due to popular request, we'll be now looking at Cardano against the USD time frame. Particularly, we'll be keeping the Bitcoin time frame for another analysis session. And as usual, we're going to be starting with the dashboard, the Mango dashboard. We're currently looking at the 4-day time frame, but I want to start with the weekly, and we're going to go through all the time frames really quickly. I'm going to filter out Cardano right over here. ADA USDT. Now, we've been bearish on Cardano for the longest time, right? It's been in a short trend. It flipped neutral very briefly, I believe, but now on the weekly too, it flipped short 6 days ago. Okay, so during this entire bull run, even I don't say the entire bull run, but for the past 2 months or so, Cardano has been showing weakness while a lot of altcoins have been showing strength. Now, we have been trading Cardano aggressively prior to Cardano showing its weakness, right? We were very bullish on Cardano, but when it started showing weakness, we had to call a spade a spade. Okay, we're like, hey, listen, we're not going to lose out on opportunity cost over here. We posted a long post on C2 where I talked about Cardano's weakness along with a few other coins. And we talked about how, hey, we do not want to lose out on opportunity costs. And you have opportunity costs in 2 ways. One, you can be in another asset, or two, you could be buying your Cardano at a lower price. And lo and behold, we saw Cardano come all the way down now to $1.50, right? So even if you're trading the weekly time frame now, 7 days ago, you got the short call and 20% returns on the short call. Now, you don't have to take a short on Cardano. If you're a Cardano fan, for example, and you're opposed to shorting it, doesn't mean you need to take a short on Cardano. What it could mean, though, is you getting out of the trade temporarily to rebuy at a better price, right? Support the market at a better price. If you're a Bitcoin holder primarily and you're trading alts to collect more Bitcoin like I am, Cardano gave you the call like 50 days ago, guys, like so almost 2 months ago, saying, hey, you're short against Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, and 50%, you could have saved 50% of your Bitcoin, and if you're looking to be a buyer long term, maybe now you want to be a buyer. We'll show you guys some ideas where maybe long term holders may be looking to buy very soon, right? So now Cardano is showing opportunity. I'll be talking about that very soon. But I want to really drill in that idea that you do not need to hold on to a coin emotionally forever unless you have a long-term thesis on something based on risk management, which we'll talk about very soon. You got to be realistic about these things, okay? So Cardano weekly looking bad. The 4-day, what's the 4-day saying? 4-day, similar story, short on both pairings, 20% returns 11 days ago on the USD pairing and 60% returns on the Bitcoin pairing. 2-day time frame, same story, short on both pairings 5 days ago. Daily, again, same story, 5.5 days ago, short on both pairings. 12-hour, short 5 days ago. Wow, so 5 days ago was a massive trigger on most of the time frames, eh? So clearly, Cardano flipped temporarily because it flipped temporarily, at least neutral, because for the longest time it was short either way on these pairings on the lower time frames, and the 4-hour as well is also short. So again, Cardano not looking good on all the time frames. At least Bitcoin, we talked about earlier in the stream, is still long on the weekly time frame. Ethereum is looking good. Cardano is not looking good on a trend basis, but there's a silver lining, right? So in the stream, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Ethereum is the good, surprisingly. Bitcoin is the bad, unfortunately. Cardano is the ugly, but Cardano is also the most interesting. Cardano might actually be showing a lot of opportunity in the long run, especially if it does what I'm looking for it to do, because I'll be looking to be a buyer at a particular level, and I'll be giving you guys that level right now, very soon, in around 2 minutes. Let's just switch on over to the chart. I'm gonna go through a couple of time frames with you guys, and okay. So here we're looking at Ethereum. We are switching on over to Cardano. I have a tab waiting for you guys over here, and we're looking at the weekly dynamic. Okay, so The weekly dynamic. This is essentially what we were looking for Cardano to hold, hoping for Cardano to hold on its continued trend towards the upside. This candle right over here. Okay, so just a quick recap. Cardano has been holding the weekly dynamic very, very similar to Ethereum ever since it broke out of the zone over here. Okay, coming in all the way at 11 cents. Broke out, retested perfectly, held it, accumulated on it this entire range at around 95 cents, and then had a massive impulsive upthrust to $3.10, right? So great trend against the dynamic. And then on this retest over here, we got support again, but we start seeing weakness. Each one of these weekly candles are closing red, but even then you can let that pass, right? As long, you could have a thesis saying that as long as I'm above the weekly dynamic, I am going to be staying bullish, okay? But we start seeing weakness not just on the weekly dynamic, we start seeing weakness on the dashboard. More importantly, look at the holistic scenario of what was going on, guys. We start seeing other altcoins pump while Cardano wasn't doing that, right? Cardano was moving down and not moving up, while opportunity cost was hitting you hard. So we did not like that. We were like, you know what, we're not gonna be allocating capital to Cardano, and for the past 2 months we have not been doing that, and has paid off in dividends. We said we'd rather wait for to claim a certain level, show us strength. Mango, we like buying strength, right? Show us strength one more time, right? When Cardano broke these levels over here, it showed us strength right over here at 14, and then especially around 23-ish. I really like that level. Over here, that strength level I was looking for it to break was this little dot. When it had this upthrust, I'm like, okay, good. Looking interesting, looking good. Can it close a weekly candle above this buy opportunity line? There's a dot right over here, guys, okay, coming off the dynamic. Okay, bounce off the dynamic, buy op line right over here, coming at $2.23. Could it close a weekly above it? If it did, I'd be looking to be a buyer yet again. I'm fine losing out on this much of the move. That's 14%, yes. But on Cardano, I'd be looking for much bigger move after that, right? I'd be looking for not just the highs, which is another 30%, but much higher, all the way up to $5. So I'm looking for 125%, 150% move, guys. Why would I care about a few percent, right? In order to protect myself. And because I did that, I stayed away from this, right? We lost the dynamic. We said if we lose the dynamic, we're going to have a move towards the downside. What did we see? Saw a move towards the downside, right? But now the question is, how far does this go? How deep does Cardano go? Where do we look for Cardano to see some support? And this is where it gets mango. This is where it gets interesting. This is where you can be holistic with your time frames, because I noticed something very, very interesting. This breakout over here, guys, didn't just come at any time, okay? This accumulation that we had over here, and then the breakout, okay? Let's switch first to the monthly level. The monthly dynamic. I want you guys to see where we're sitting. We're sitting on monthly dynamic support. Monthly dynamic support, okay? We bounced off it around the month of July, had a massive candle towards the upside, and if you just look at the monthly trend, this is looking like a pullback onto trend support. Okay, trend support. Now, does it mean that we bounce right off it again over here? We could, but I wouldn't bet on that. I wouldn't bet on that because of one particular time frame that I haven't shown you guys just yet. So stay tuned for that in a bit. But I want to show you guys that the upward trend, the reason I would be looking to be a buyer, firstly, is that the upward trend of the monthly is still intact. Okay, as long as we're holding the monthly dynamic, we're closing the monthly in 2 days and 11 hours, right? So as long as we close above here, I'd be looking to be a buyer on any dip, okay, underneath the dynamic, and a particular level I'd be looking at. Okay, so first condition needs to be met first, though, is that in 2 days and 11 hours, we close the Cardano closes above the monthly dynamic. Okay, if we do that, then I'll be switching on over to the 2-week dynamic over here. Now, those of you who don't have the dynamic, right, it doesn't really matter because these levels are not going to be changing. These levels are not going to be changing, and I'm literally giving it to you guys on a platter. You guys can take a freaking screenshot if you guys want. And I'm looking at the 2-week dynamic, okay? And do you guys remember how I marked out this accumulation for you guys? on the weekly, where we accumulated underneath and then had the breakout above the weekly dynamic. Well, that's coming off the 2-week dynamic right over here. Okay, coming around 10 cents. 2-week dynamic. We lost the weekly dynamic, guys, but we accumulated on something. What was it? What was it? It was the 2-week dynamic zone right over here. Right over here. Okay, now the 2-week dynamic is coming up quick and hot right over here at $1.30 all the way down to $8.10. That's a long way to go still. Okay, so would you be looking to put on leverage trades over here? No, because that's a big move. That's a big move. Let's go measure it. If we come down to the bottom of the 2-week dynamic, that could be a 30% move. So even a 3x leverage could liquidate you out of your position. So don't get cute here. Don't get aggressive. Okay, because if we get our bids at around $8, let's say you get bids around $1, 10 cents, whatever, right? Somewhere around there. And you're looking for the big Cardano win to all the way to $5, guys. That's around 400 to 500%. You don't need to capture 30%. If you start seeing strength, you can start accumulating a position, right? You don't need leverage to begin with on a move like this. And secondly, you don't need to jump into the position just yet. Okay, you don't need to jump into the position just yet. The monthly level is right over here. We can wait 2 days and 11 hours to see if we do see some support. If we break this level, I would not be looking to be a buyer over here. Okay, I would be looking, however, to bid up a position somewhere underneath the 2-week dynamic and then look for the 2-week dynamic to hold and then have a trend continuation. So essentially something like this and then something like this. So wick underneath and then gone. So each time we've accumulated on the 2-week dynamic, guys, we've had a massive move. This was a 2000% move. This move over here, its initial impulse before the 2000% move was a 200% move. So 200% move, 2000% move, right? And now, what have we had? 200% move to a 2000% move. Could Cardano hit $23? Surprise everyone who's given up on Cardano? Maybe. But again, this is just like playing fractals, which I'm not a big fan of. But the bull market may surprise people, right? The bull market may surprise people. So we've had a 200% move off the lows, came down, tested the 2-week dynamic, and then had a 2000% move after that. Now we've had a 200% move after first down move, first bear market, consolidation zone, this zone over here, right? We had a 200% move. Do we come, did I miss that? Yeah, around 200%. And do we do something similar? Even if we do half of that, even if we do freaking half of that, guys, that's going to be a 500% move, right? So 500% move would still be around $6 to $7. So I want you guys to think about this possibility now on Cardano, because when there's blood, right, there's opportunity. And if Cardano has that move towards the downside, okay, if it does come down and test the bottom of the dynamic, that's a 30% more dump from here. That's $1. Getting to buy Cardano at $1 again would essentially mean that it's pulled back what? From its highs, a good 65%. Okay, and then to get back to its highs, just even if you trade the range back to its highs at that point, guys, it's going to be a 200% trade. A 200% trade. So think about that opportunity now, leading into any pain that we see on Cardano. All right, keep an eye on these levels. I'm going to give you guys these levels very clearly. $1.07 is the bottom of the $1.07. Yeah, $1.07, bottom of the dynamic. Top of the dynamic is coming in at around $1.31. The last time prior to this accumulation over here, which sent us to $3, the last time prior to that was all the way down over here, guys, was around 10 cents, 9 to 10 cents. Okay, let's go back to the monthly now. Let's find 9 to 10 cents in the monthly. That was somewhere, that was this candle. That was here. That was here. So think about that. Think about that. Now we're coming back. This was just the beginning of the dynamic trend. Now we're coming back down over here. We could see a wick. I guess it's 2 days and 11 hours. It's really tight. But what if you see something like this? What if we're doing something like this? You guys see it all come together now. So yeah, that's Cardano. I hope you guys enjoyed this idea. Cardano is the uglier chart of the three that we discussed in the stream: Bitcoin, Ethereum, but it is the one that may show us the most opportunity if you play this right.